So this is one of the reasons I withdraw and avoid people that are needy, because I was raised and I was abused by a very needy individual. A narcissist is a very needy individual. They want your time, they want your money, they want your love, they want everything. Now, no is never, that's never an option for them. It's all or it's nothing. So if you refuse to do one thing and you've done 1,000 things for them, that's an unforgivable sin for them. They wanted you to do that one thing and you can't do it. Hell just froze over at that point. Hell just froze over. And the reason it's something that I want to avoid, the neediness of a person, is not so much that I don't care. I do care. And I will do everything in my power to help that person 200%, 150%. I will encourage them. I will help inspire them. I will talk to them, text them. I will give it my all. But when I find out that they're just playing a game with me, they're just bored, they want somebody to be their therapist, or they just want someone that they can dump all their emotional baggage out, I don't appreciate that. I don't. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a medical professional. I didn't go to school for that. I am not in the medical field. I'm not in the field of psychiatry. I don't get paid to do that. And if you're just going to be my friend because I am essentially somebody that you think wouldn't object, that wouldn't run away, that wouldn't fight you, or something like that, you're going to have another thing coming to you. Because as nice and kind as I am, I have a weapon here. I am very independent. I am fiercely loyal, but I also have a fierce strength. And you know what that fierce strength is? Despite all of the things that I've been through, I decided to be a good person. I could have been a manipulative, psychotic bitch, but I didn't. And the fact that I chose that shows incredible strength. So when I am giving you kindness, it's not because I'm stupid. It's not because I'm naive. And if I allow someone to, to string me along on a roller coaster of their emotions, that's not because I am dense. It is because I have empathy. I put myself in that person's position. I feel their pain. I feel their emotions. And I want to help them. But you have to understand, help only works if you accept it. If I put my hand out and you refuse to take it and you fall, is that my fault? No. You chose not to take my hand. You chose that. When you have a proverbial or a metaphorical mountain that you have to climb, I'm not going to carry you. That's not what I do. I will not carry someone up the mountain. I will show you the direction. Sometimes I will go up the mountain with you if that's necessary, if that's what you need. If you need somebody to guide you up that mountain, then I will be that guide. But at no point am I going to be doing all the work for you, because change is internal. It's internal. It's inside. It's inside. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your heart and your soul. You have to change those things yourself. And if you're in a situation where you don't think that you need help, or you don't want help, or you don't think that it's possible to accept help, or you just don't want to change, I just want you to tell me. I just want to say, hey, I wish I could just go up to someone and say, okay, what's all of this about? You know, I wish people were just completely honest and I could just look at someone and say, okay, what are you expecting to accomplish from this? Okay. Okay. You're single, I'm not. Are you expecting a relationship? That's not going to work. So we're going to cross that off. I'm crossing it out myself, yes. Yeah, if I have to be that bitch, then I will be. Okay, so you're going through depression. Do you want someone to be there? No, you want to be depressed. Okay, fine. That way I don't have to make the effort. I don't have to essentially sweat it out just to, keep you happy. So that makes it easy right there. But then what else do you want? Are you looking for a therapist? Are you looking for someone that's going to give you a therapist, take the role of a therapist? Do you want a mother? I am not a mother. I am not a therapist. I might appear to be motherly, and I might have some motherly qualities. I might have some qualities of a therapist, but just because I have qualities of one doesn't mean that I am one. So, yeah, I wish I could just do that. I wish I could just text people and then to just figure that out. What do you want from this relationship? What are you expecting? Friendship? You want romance? See ya. You want a therapist? See ya. You want a mother? Definitely gonna see ya. Bye. And so, and that sounds like somebody, that sounds very cruel. It sounds rather cruel. You're thinking, oh, you're withdrawing from this person. You don't understand. When you have a needy person, especially a narcissist, that person, after they've gotten everything they want from you, money, sex, drugs, whatever it is that they're getting from you, after that, you know what they do? You know what a narcissist starts consuming? Your energy. They start consuming your energy. They start taking up your time. When they are no longer able to drain your energy and your time, they start living in your head rent-free. How do they do that? Oh, they just say things repetitively over and over again, to the point that you start to believe it. And I know that sounds really hilarious. It's like, oh, yeah, if you say it over and over again, you start to believe it. No, it works. It does. It's called brainwashing. It's called brainwashing. And many narcissistic abuse survivors are not aware it's abuse. They're not aware that that's what they're experiencing. They just think, when I was a young girl, I thought this was completely normal. I thought it was normal that you put peroxide in a child's ears. I thought it was normal that she would talk to me 2 hours about things. I thought it was normal for her to have this hatred towards the world. I looked at it a very understanding point of view. I was a very understanding child, and I would look at her and I would say, yeah, you've been hurt, and I understand that, and I felt her pain, and I was there for her. I rubbed her feet, I listened to her, and I loved her, genuinely. I did. But from the time that I was there, she told me a lot of things about myself. A lot of things that I found out later were not true. They weren't true. And I had to take through these little lies. They took root in my head. They grew into weeds, and they took over my brain, to the point that I thought that these weeds were the real thing. I thought these weeds were flowers, okay? I thought these weeds, I looked at the dandelions and I said, woo, yay, and I thought they were literal flowers. I thought that these were blooming into beautiful things, but it turns out these are weeds. They are taking up, and you know what weeds do? They take the nutrients out of other plants. They are parasites. So all of the goodness, all the joy, all the things that I should have been experiencing and having fun with, those weeds were eating away at those beautiful things that were in my brain. And people do this. They're like, oh yeah, you shouldn't give them that much control. But do you know how to get out a weed? Do you know how to do that? You have to put a firm grip, the one that's closest to the dirt, and you hope that you have enough strength to pull it out with the roots intact. You're hoping that. This is the root. Those roots go very deep. And yes, your whole life has potentially been, you've been training for this moment. You've been training, unknowingly you were training for it. Unknowingly, children train themselves to think outside the box, to do other things outside the home. They do this. They watch movies. They do things that maybe their parents wouldn't allow them to do. And these look like rebellions. They do. But essentially, you're going to have to rebel. Because you have to remember, if the narcissist is your parent, you're not dealing with a normal human being. You're not dealing with somebody who is genuinely caring about you or genuinely cares about your well-being. They care about their own. You're expecting them to do that? But the deep-rootedness is what really, why it is so hard, because you have to do that one at a time. I don't know if you've ever pulled weeds out of the garden, especially if it's a big one. It's exhausting. You sweat. It is a lot of work. And yeah, people just say, get over it, get over it. Okay, get over it. Okay, get over it. Oh, okay. That's like having to defuse a million bombs in a minefield. Just get over it. Yeah, just get over it. Just get over it. Because potentially, when you try to get rid of these lies that have been put there, they don't want to go. They don't want to leave. They've been there for a long time. They've been there probably since you were a child. They don't want to leave. They're alive. You've given them life. Because guess what? You believed them. You didn't have a choice. It's not your fault. It's not because you were stupid. It's not because you're dull. And that's the same thing with me. I am not stupid. People look at this. I've seen the way people look at those that have suffered abuse, whether it's a husband or brother or whatever. They just look at them like they're absolutely fucking crazy. And it looks crazy, I could admit. But it also is upsetting because it's like, you literally have to go through your whole entire life. And Jeanette McCurdy talks about this because her mother was a narcissist. She says she had to look through her entire life and realize it was an entire lie. She didn't want to accept it. She didn't want to accept that what she was experiencing her whole life was abuse. Just imagine if you're married to someone for that long, for over 20 years, and you realize that everything that they did was abusive. You don't understand. They have control. They have control over the things you do, over the things you say, over the things you eat, over the things you wear. They will make sure, if you're feeling confident, they'll make sure to make some weird comment about the way you look so you won't wear it. They'll get to the point where you can't wear anything because everything they dislike. Because sometimes they'll upset you to the point that you won't even go anywhere. Because everything you wanted to wear that day is trash. Or everything that you're wearing, you feel like trash. They're making sure that. They're making sure they will withhold things from you, information that might be vitally important to your growth. They will keep things from you, whether it's about money, things that they're doing outside of the house. If it's a parent, they will purposefully tell you the things they want you to know, and anything else that they don't want you to know, they won't tell you. You know, you'll ask a certain thing. You'll say, you know, do women do this or do men do that? And they'll just say, you know, they'll act all embarrassed, like it's an embarrassing subject, like it's something else, when really all you asked was, you know, something very, very important, like how to use a tampon, like what you do when you have BO, you know, talking about your body as a woman or whatever it is. Those are things that just need to be said, but they don't want you to. If they want you to remain a child for the rest of their life, they will keep you in the dark and they will keep you ignorant. And I really do believe that my abuser did that on purpose. I really do believe that. I believe that she withheld things from me that I didn't learn until I was 25. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Do you know how embarrassing it is to talk to my aunt about things that literally 10-year-olds know about on TikTok? You know? It's like 10-year-olds. Gosh, they read the Kama Sutra. They've done everything all the time. Are you kidding? They read those things. They know them. But then you're supposed to explain the dynamics of certain things that of things that happen between men and women that I had no idea. Oh sure. You know, I knew the dynamics between other people, you know, when it came to homosexuals, when it came to the gay community, I knew about that. But when it came to just normal things, no, I didn't know. That was mortifying. That was embarrassing. Everybody else, but you know, my aunt sat there and she had a smile on her face, and she was like, "Yeah, this is." She had to tell me these things. You know who should have told me that? The person that was raising me. The person that was my guardian. And you know who that was? That was my abuser. She should have told me those things, and she didn't. As I said, I'm not going to go into great detail about this because it is, you know, I don't need to talk at any great length about, you know, the sexual dynamics between men and women. We all know what goes on about that, okay? Like, we know. I really don't feel like talking about that because I've done this before. One of the things you don't talk about, especially when you are somebody that looks like me, somebody with a comely face like mine, and you start talking about things like that, guys get on here and they're like, this is an educational video, okay? So yeah, there's that. You know what I mean? So yeah. So there's certain things that I just didn't know. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, I don't have to go into specifics. I'm just trying to put that out there. That's just like a fun fact. I don't know if it's really fun, but you know. But yes, the woman that had the papers that said she was my guardian, she should have told me things about life, about men, women, whatever. Like, you know, things like things just as simple as hygiene. Hygiene's really important, and I think that's one of the things when you talk about hygiene, and for both men and women, that's important. That is important. You know, the other day I was talking to my abuser, and I was saying, you know, there are certain feminine products that help with odors, you know? And she's like, why? It's like, because not everybody needs to smell your Not everybody needs to smell. It's like BO, okay? It's like BO, you know? And she's like, oh, that's ridiculous. And I was like, that's ridiculous? That's ridiculous? Okay? First of all, there's nothing wrong with having an odor anywhere in your body. There's nothing wrong with that unless it's like a medical thing, but there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's like wearing a bra, essentially. When you wear a bra, it's not so much that you need a bra. It's not so much that you can't live without it. It's just for modesty. So people will do things that are modest. It's like washing your face or taking a shower or you know, putting on something, putting on a jacket, doing whatever it is. And sometimes that's what's needed. It's not because you're gross or you're disgusting, okay? It's not because of that. A lot of these odors that come with your body are completely natural. But, you know, it's just like anything. It's just like anything. For instance, there are men and women. Men and women have different parts. And we're all aware that we have these parts. But it's not something that we advertise. We don't advertise it. And when we advertise it, it gives people the wrong idea. It can gross people out. It can make them run away. It can also be a sexual harassment as well. So, you know, we tend to do things that are modest. And my abuser just looked at me like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? Because we have dignity. That is why. We have dignity. We value our bodies and we like to keep it fresh and put the deodorant and the other fragrances. That's why women put perfume on sometimes, because it smells nice. There's nothing worse than I don't know, you know, you're going out and about. I tend to do this, you know, when I'm going out and about, and I go like that. It's like, I don't want people to associate this BO with me. It's embarrassing to me. I'd like to be fresh smelling, and there's something about deodorizing that to me, it gives me a sense of dignity. It makes me feel good about myself when I take a shower, when I do things that help me look better, that help me smell better. It makes me feel really good about myself. So that's why I do it. That's why I do it. But for some reason, to her narcissistic brain, it short-circuited. She was like, she didn't understand that. I was like, yeah, sorry. You know, that's just what women do nowadays. Not does every woman do this? Does every woman deodorize and make sure that these smells are covered? No. And you shouldn't shame them for it. You shouldn't. Now, unless it smells really bad, you know, like their BO is gone, oh, you know, it's really bad. But even then, I don't sit there and point it out and I don't go like, you smell funny. You know, it's not my thing. And there are medical reasons, believe it or not, of why a woman smells. Sometimes there are medical reasons. There are people that will literally, you know, for whatever reason, they will put, you know, deodorant on and it just doesn't work. You know, that's a medical thing. And if they can't help it, you know, they can't help it. It's just one of those things. But I had to be taught this later on. I wasn't aware of this. I didn't understand it. I had no idea. But my aunt just sat there and she was like, yeah, this is sometimes what I do. You know, we spray this here, we spray this there, and this is what this is what we're doing. And seriously, if there are any thirsty comments, I'm deleting. Seriously, I am. I'm talking about something very normal. This is not sexual, okay? You think that it is? you're weird. So I'm just saying this is a normal thing. And perhaps in my abuser's day, that was not something that was done. Perhaps that is a new concept. Perhaps that is whatever. But it goes down to one thing. If she doesn't approve of it, it doesn't exist. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. If it doesn't make sense, you can't have an explanation for that, then it just doesn't exist. And the thing that's very bizarre, this is kind of what's very weird. A narcissist will bring up a subject if it is interesting to them, and it can be something very disgusting, it can be something very gross, something perverted, something sexually inappropriate. It could be inappropriate on so many levels. But if they think that that's what you need to hear, they're going to say it. They're going to say it. They're going to say it. One time, my abuser comes in the room and she tells me something about lidocaine. Guys putting lidocaine on their equipment. And I was just like, you know why they do that? And I was like, you want to know why they do that? And I said, no, I don't. And she just went, I was like, yeah, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know this. And I went around, I actually asked some people. Yeah, I just went on Reddit. No, I did not. I went on Quora. No, no, I didn't. I didn't go anywhere. I mentioned this comment to someone, and I think I might have asked my aunt and uncle about this, and they said, no, guys don't do that. I was like, yeah, I thought not. So, now in case you don't know what lidocaine is, lidocaine is a numbing medicine, and it numbs your skin. Yeah, that's what it does. So, yeah, I found out that wasn't true, and I didn't think it was true either. I just thought it was perverted and gross, and I just went ahead and said, no, no, I don't want to know, thank you. So when it came to things like that, this is what's very strange. She hated everybody. She hated everyone. She despised everyone. She thought everybody was a predator or a rapist. She thought everybody was out to get me, out to get her, and this didn't happen. It wasn't just men, it was women too. Everybody was a threat. But then when it came to these sordid details about men and whatever they were into, whatever it was, it just seemed to be yeah, we'll just tell you all about that. And it wasn't useful information either. It wasn't well, men tend to like this, and if you ever encounter this, they tend to these kind of things. They can, no, it wasn't useful things. It wasn't yeah, this is, it wasn't a nice, fun little educational thing. It wasn't like that. No, it was weird, perverted things that I didn't need to have in my brain. And you're wondering here, you're thinking, somebody like that, so you're wondering, you're sitting here, yeah, there's a reason I was single for so long. Because I thought guys were freaking weird. She painted a picture for me, for guys, that wasn't very flattering. So, yeah. When you have absolutely no idea who you are as a person, you have no idea what women are supposed to do in this life, and you don't know what being a woman is, and then you have this picture of what men are. You have this picture of what men are, which are literally, it's just a caveman picture. just caveman, like, snoof, snoof, want woman. You like think to yourself, you're like, yeah, definitely don't want any of that. So I was like, no. Now, it wasn't until I met my boyfriend that I figured out, oh, that's what a man is. Okay, cool. They actually respect women, and they treat them like human beings. Oh, wow. This is news to me. And they actually take their time to get to know the woman. I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. You don't just skip all the bases and then just get to being the girlfriend, or you don't just, that's it. You're bam, 2 weeks you date your boyfriend and girlfriend, and then bam, you're married. I was like, no, thank you. So I was willing to wait instead of just rush into a relationship. I was a smart person. Did my trauma keep me from being in relationships? Definitely. It kept me from being in relationships. Did the way I was raised prevent me from forming relationships with men? Definitely. And a lot of guys didn't understand. They got mad. They got angry. They would be like, go want a girlfriend. And I'd be like, I forgot the part where this was my problem. I just met you 5 minutes ago. And they're like, bitch. And I'm like, am I though? Am I a bitch? Because I'm saying that I don't want to be someone's instant girlfriend. I don't want to be someone's girlfriend for 2 weeks and then get disappointed when I figure out that you're a complete asshole. Is that no. That actually makes me smart. That makes me a wise person. That makes me somebody that is mature. And I'm sorry if no was, I'm sorry I said no, and I wasn't, I'm sorry but not sorry. And a lot of people did not understand that. They didn't get it. They didn't understand that that's why I was doing that. They didn't get it. You know what I mean? They didn't get it. They just thought, they just looked at my picture and they said, I hope she's single. But did they regard my feelings? Did they think maybe, yeah, let's think about this. Let's think this. So if she says yes, that would be amazing, right? Sure. If I said yes, ring the bells. Sound the trumpets, But if I say no, why do you think, why do you think I would say no? Because I hate you? Because I despise every inch of you? Because I don't like you? Because I have misjudged you and I have personally labeled you as an asshole or a rapist or a predator? No. None of those things were going through my head. None of those things. I said no to protect myself. I said no because I did not want to be hurt. I did not want to get into a relationship with someone that was just going to fight, that was just going to become a needy, all-consuming person. That is why I withdraw from people that are needy. Because when you attach to someone romantically, and you're someone like me that genuinely loves people for unconditionally, without judgment, when you're someone like me, you make deep-rooted attachments. And I would have to get into a relationship, which is a huge step. The relationships are not something that you just, people think of relationships as just like candy. It's just like something you can get another, that's a person. That's a person. You can't buy them at the store. You can't buy a person. If you think that you can, that's sick. That is a living human being with feelings and emotions, and they have a free will and a soul. They have a mind of their own. They are thinking independently. If they disagree with you, Does that make them a horrible person? If somebody thinks differently, does that make them evil? No. A woman is a person, just as a man is a person. So I will respect someone regardless of their gender or their sexuality. I look at that, but at the same time, I value myself. I value who I am and my sanity. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm going to be used. And when I get attached to that person, when I actually fall, if I'm going to actually fall in love with them, because after I'm going to have to go through the same process that I did with my abuser, which is uprooting all of the lies all over again. If that person becomes a narcissist, I'm going to have to erase that person. If things don't work out, I'm going to have to erase that person from my mind. I'm going to have to try to literally... Getting out of a relationship is like, it's very much like setting up a home or setting up a room. It starts out empty, but eventually all of this furniture comes in. You keep adding it, and you keep adding it, and you keep adding it, and you keep adding all of these things to this room. Now, if that person is no longer there, what do you have to do? You have to remove all of those items that potentially reminded you of that person. That room is your mind, okay? There's not going to be a lot you can do to erase that person from your mind, but you're going to have to erase things that that person left. That's why a lot of people, when they do break up, they get rid of their stuff because they don't want to be reminded of. They don't want to be reminded of the person that hurt them or cheated on them or did that. So that's very much that is a metaphor in itself. Right there. But you have to remodel. You have to move on. You have to get over it, so to speak. But it is a process. And when I was online, I was just coming out of my abuser's control. I couldn't think. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd been told my whole life who I was, and I didn't know shit. And then this guy shows up and says, "Be my girlfriend." Yet again, I don't even know if I have the capability. I didn't know if I had the capability to be someone's girlfriend. I didn't know if I had the capability to love someone. I didn't even know if I had empathy. I didn't know if I had motherly qualities. I didn't know if I would be good wife material. I don't know if I could do anything in a relationship. I had no idea. And when somebody shows up and says, "Be my girlfriend," that has texted me 5 seconds later, and then they blow up on me, you know what? Fuck you. Because I'm going through something. I've got a life. Things do not revolve around your penis. Things do not revolve around your sex life. They don't. If you need to release that sexual energy somewhere, that's why they have porn, okay? That's why they have certain toys, okay? That's what those are for. If you're sexually frustrated, that's not a good reason to get into a relationship, okay? Sex addiction is a really serious thing. And when you bring addiction into a relationship, it doesn't work out well. Because guess what? Your addiction is the one that usually wins. It usually wins. If you're not over an addiction and you get into a relationship, it wins. It wins. Yeah, you can love that person. They can love you. But at the end of the day, the addiction is going to be the one that is going to win in that relationship. That's usually what happens. Sometimes within the relationship, they are able to get over it. Get over it. They're able to get help for it, but in the long run, no. So I don't want that. I don't want that. What I do want is someone to respect me. What I do want is when I say no, I want them to look at me and realize that's me talking. That's my voice. That's my opinion. That is me expressing myself and saying, no, I don't want to do this. If you can't respect anybody, I'm not just saying a woman, anybody, and you just go ahead and do whatever you want to do, you're going to have a trial on your case. You're going to have sexual assault charges. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because women, men, they're individuals. They think for themselves. They do things for themselves. They do whatever it is. They think outside the box, okay? And you need to be able to listen to someone, anyone, man, woman, child, listen to them. Because overriding their feelings and their thoughts, that's not good. That's not good. The best thing is to listen. And my boyfriend took the time to actually listen to me. So when I say, no, I don't want to do something, he respects that. He understands. He doesn't realize that I'm actually saying yes. He doesn't read between the lines and think, well, does that actually mean yes? No. Yet again, no means no. It means no. It doesn't mean no, I don't like you. No, I hate you. No, I'm not attracted to you. No, you're stupid. It doesn't mean any of that. No. No means I am taking care of myself. If that means I have to take care of myself before I take care of someone else, I think that's important, because there's no way that I'm going to take care of anyone, let alone a man, if I don't have my shit together up here. If I don't understand, if I don't have all of my facilities up here working, what makes you think I'm going to be able to take care of your needs? You think I'm going to be listening to you? No, because I'm not going to be mentally, I'm going to go, I'm just not going to be there. I can't. You can't be in a relationship if you're not taking care of yourself. There's a balance. There's a balance between taking care of yourself and then taking care of another person. If you don't know how to do any of that, take care of yourself first, because when you are able to value yourself and see yourself as a precious individual and respect yourself, you're going to be able to respect other people. You're going to realize if you've never respected yourself and you've never treated yourself, or whatever it is, you've never taken care of yourself, you don't know what it is. They say treat others as you treat yourself. Well, how have you treated yourself? If you treated yourself like shit most of your days, are you going to treat other people like that? You might actually. You might. I mean, if you're a really, good person, essentially, yeah, you might. But for the most part, you're not going to really understand how to do that. You could respect other people and do that without respecting yourself, but you're not going to have that experience, that first-hand experience of taking care of someone. You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I know how to do that. Yeah, like I did this before, and yeah, it's great. But if you're not used to taking care of yourself and respecting yourself, you're going to find yourself in relationships where the other person does not respect you. And that's just going to cause more pain. And I hope this was helpful. I know there's a lot of issues in this, and I just hope this was helpful. And I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day.